Hello everyone. I went live about a month or a month and a half ago maybe, where I asked you questions all week and I received a bunch of questions specifically about multiple sclerosis and physical therapy. So I did the same thing this week. I've been asking you guys, what questions do you have about MS and physical therapy? And I'm going to answer those questions right now. So I am first going to tell you there are 7 questions that came through. 2 of them are kind of similar, but I'm going to answer those 7 questions. If you have any other questions as I'm talking, feel free to type them in the chat or in the comment section, and if I have time at the end, I'll go through and answer those ones too. So I hope you find this helpful. I love being able to add value and answer questions at all times, but especially during this time when a lot of us are still just kind of stuck in our homes. So thank you for joining. The 7 questions are, number 1, what exercises can I do for tightness in my spine? Number 2, what exercises can I do to help my neck and my back? Question number 3 that I'll answer is, what exercises can I do for foot drop? Number 4, what can I do to get better sleep? Number 5, what is the best diet for multiple sclerosis? Number 6, what is your online MS program? And number 7, is it possible to feel a burning sensation or sunburnt feeling even if you're not having a relapse? So let's just jump right in. Question number 1, exercises for tightness in my spine. I actually have a YouTube video on this. I will review it right now as well, but I do have a YouTube video on this because there are a couple of different things that you can do for tightness in your spine. With tightness anywhere, the 3 general rules of thumb are you can try to stretch that area, you can try to massage that area, or roll out that area using a foam roller or something like a stick that you're going to roll out, or rolling pin, something like that. So specifically for your back, our backs, including our neck, tend to move in the same direction all day long. For our spine, like for our neck down, we typically, it's just forward, backward. It's slouching or sitting up straight. It's a little bit of rotation, but not excessively so. So the best way to loosen your back muscles up in the back joints is to practice sitting up tall. Really extend your back overly so, and then down like this. And you want to do this cat-cow kind of movement, also spinning, rotating one way and then the other way repeatedly in a slow and controlled movement. And then the last plane is side to side. So you're going to go side to the right and then side to the left. Those movements are movements that our body is meant and designed to do. And so when we don't do them consistently, our joints and our muscles just get stuck in one position. So moving around in that way can be extremely beneficial if you're having pain and tightness in your back. I also do have an online program called the Total Core Program. Most times that people have back pain, specifically middle and lower back pain, it's because your core muscles aren't strong enough. So I do have a program called the Total Core Program, specifically designed for exercises for that. So if you're looking for more strengthening based exercises, I would highly encourage you to check that out. Moving on to number 2, what exercises can I do to help my neck and my back? So we just talked about the back, and the spine goes all the way from right under our skull all the way down to our tailbone. So doing those movements can really help loosen. It's the same thing for your neck, looking down, looking up, slow and controlled, especially if you have vertigo or any type of dizziness, lightheadedness, anything. Go slow. Rotation is another one. And this is my full rotation. It does not have to be that big. It could just be this movement. It doesn't have to be full motion. And then side bending. And up and side bending the other way. When you're side bending, it's important that you don't look down. That's a different stretch, different muscle group. And doing these movements can actually loosen up your spine as well as stretch our neck muscles. Our necks tend to carry so much stress. So just holding this position. Stretches, there's 2 different ways you can do them. One is dynamic, meaning you hold the stretch for maybe 3 to 5 seconds and then back off and then do it again. And you do that about 30 times. The other way is to hold the stretch for about 30 seconds and do that 3 times. That's more of a static stretch. So stretching your neck in that way can be very, very helpful. There are fewer neck strengthening exercises. Usually our necks, if there's an issue in the neck, it's because it's too tight. So there are some exercises that you can do, like put your hand here and you're doing this motion, but you're not letting it move. So it's more of an isometric exercise. You can do forward as well. You're tipping your head forward, but your hand doesn't let it move. And then same thing going back. So those are exercises that you can do to strengthen your neck muscles if you're looking for strengthening and not stretching exercises. Moving on to question number 3, which is exercises for foot drop. This is my favorite question because I am always shocked and quite frankly appalled at how few people are aware of this simplest exercise. It's not easy, but it's a simple exercise for foot drop. So if we pretend this is my foot, this is my heel, I don't have enough flexibility in my shoulder, this is my knee, heel, toes. If you foot drop, the issue is that probably two issues. Number one, the muscles here on your shin are weak, and those muscles are designed to lift your foot up. So if these muscles are weak, your foot's gonna stay down. The second issue that probably is existing is tightness on the backside. So this is my calf. If my calf is tight, it pulls my foot down. So it's often a combination of tightness here on your calf and weakness here on the top of your foot. So therefore you would stretch your calf and also strengthen the shin muscles, the ankle dorsiflexors. My arm's getting sore. So the exercise for that, I'll switch sides. There's so many different variations of calf stretch. You can probably Google calf stretch and choose one. There's several. For ankle dorsiflexion, to strengthen these muscles, you're sitting down, feet are on the ground, move them a little bit further away from you, and just simply lift your ankle. It's going to be hard, especially if you have foot drop, and maybe one side is fine, but the other side is not so strong. But literally, that's the exercise. It's nothing fancy. Just practice the movement that's hard for you to do. That's what you've got to do for foot drop. I know it seems like, it kind of seems like a no-brainer to me. That might be because I'm a physical therapist. There's nothing special. You literally have to do the exact position that's hard for you to do to strengthen it. So, and I am shocked at how many people don't know that exercise. Apparently other physical therapists and doctors aren't teaching that for some reason, but I personally think everyone with MS, whether you have foot drop or not, should be doing that exercise. Because even if you have good strength in your ankles and you don't have foot drop, let's keep it that way. So that's my favorite exercise for foot drop. Question number 4, what can I do to get better sleep? So the first thing is exercise, and that might seem counterintuitive to a lot of people, but even just light exercise, even what I demonstrated just a couple of minutes ago of just turning, just some stretching exercises, or even just some light bicep curls, maybe at the same time or alternating punches. It does not need to mean going for a run or walking on a treadmill or doing the new step or a recumbent bike. It doesn't have to be that intense. Any exercise can significantly help with sleep. So even if you suffer from fatigue, research proves that exercise can help with primary and secondary fatigue. So that is one thing I would highly suggest doing. In addition to that, staying hydrated, which I know this can be an issue if you're suffering from urinary frequency, urinary incontinence, any type of urinary or bowel issues, which are common with MS. But sips of water throughout the day to stay hydrated can actually help with sleeping better. And then the last thing is having some type of stress reduction built in to your day. For some people that might be meditation. I actually recently purchased a coloring book and colored pencils, and before bed each night I color. And I don't know about you, but I specifically chose a coloring book that is not animals or houses or things that I would assume what color they should be, because I just want my mind to relax. I don't want to assume what color should go where, so I just chose this like random flower design, and it has like 100 different pictures in there. So choosing something to relax throughout the day, but also right before bed. There in the missing link, one thing that we have is a guest speaker section, and now we've had about 3 or 4 meditations that have been put in there, and one is specifically designed to relax your entire body. The type of yoga is called yoga, I always pronounce this wrong, yoga nidra, something like that. So if you're a member of the missing link, definitely check that out in our guest speaker section. If you're not a member, see if you can find a meditation like that online. The whole point is to relax our muscles and relax our brain, which is very different than just meditation. So I'd highly encourage that as well. Okay, question number 5. What diet is best for MS? I wanted to ask this because someone asked it of me, and I know you're not going to like my answer, but there is no best diet for MS. And this is a very heated, controversial subject. I speak to support groups for multiple sclerosis all the time, virtually as well as in person, and without a doubt, someone brings up this question, and someone will stand up saying, I did a keto diet and my symptoms are so much better, you have to do keto. And then someone else will say, well, I tried keto and it didn't work for me at all. I tried the Walls program and it worked amazing. And then another one will say, well, neither of those worked for me, but the OMS diet worked for me, or the Swank diet, or low carb, so there is no one diet that works best for someone with MS. I will say general healthy eating, if you're not already eating healthy, just simply eating healthier, eating more vegetables, staying hydrated, reducing the amount of sugar and inflammatory foods is what's going to be best. I don't know that that's a specific diet. There is no research right now saying that one diet is best. There is more research suggesting that keto diets may be helpful. I'm not saying that they are helpful, but there are some diets saying, or some research articles that are looking into more of the keto diet. But see what works for you. Try one. If you've been interested in one, try it. Try it for 2 months. See if it works. See if it makes a difference. If not, pick a different one. Everyone's body is different. And I know that's not the answer that a lot of people want to hear, but unfortunately, it's my answer. Question number 6, I actually get this one all the time. What is your online program? So my online program is specifically designed for people with MS. With that said, we have a bunch of members in there who don't have MS, who have Parkinson's or hereditary spastic paraplegia or rheumatoid arthritis, just any type of diagnosis that has been causing a mobility issue. And it's videos of me, kind of like this, where I am demonstrating and explaining a bunch of different exercises for strengthening, stretching, balance, and walking. In addition to that, we have guest speakers that you can join us live for or catch the recording every single month. We have research updates where, again, it's me explaining what I'm finding in newest research and newest strategies that can potentially help, whether it's MS drugs that are released now or different types of therapies, anything that I'm finding in research that I think is applicable to the members that we have in our program. And my favorite part of the missing link is I actually upload task-specific exercises, meaning if you have difficulty standing up from the ground, stair climbing, standing up from a squishy surface like a couch or a low surface like a toilet seat, there's so many different activities that are challenging for people with MS to do that aren't specifically foot drop or difficulty lifting my leg. It's an activity that's hard. So we have videos for that. And we also recently, back in January, added a yoga class specifically for the missing link every single month. So all of that is online. You can access it anywhere you have Wi-Fi. It also includes a one-on-one call with me to help you get started, and an accountability group over on Facebook that's a private group specifically to help you stay on track with your exercises. Okay, and our last question, I do see some questions popping up. I'll go through those after this last question. So question number 7, is it possible to feel a burning sensation or sunburnt feeling even if you are not having a relapse? Absolutely yes. 2 things that I want to say about this. 1, a common symptom in MS is sensory changes, and you don't necessarily have to have a relapse in order to feel those sensory changes. So sensory changes can feel like numbness, tingling, burning, pins and needles, I feel like I'm forgetting a big one. Numbness, tingling, burning, pins and needles, itching, like there's bugs crawling. You don't necessarily have to be having a relapse in order for those to exist. So yes, to answer your question, yes. And also, I would always encourage you, if you're getting any symptoms like that and you know you're not having a relapse, it could be caused from your core temperature either rising, which is heat intolerance, or lowering, which is cold intolerance. Cold intolerance is less common, but it does still exist. So if that is happening and there is a possibility that your core temperature has risen, even if you're inside an air conditioning, then take some sips of ice cold water and try to cool yourself down. That may help if it's caused from a change in core temperature. Okay, those are all of the questions I was asked. I'm going to scroll through and see what questions were asked in the chat as I was talking. I'm going to try to not move my camera too much as I'm scrolling. Okay, would a TENS unit be useful after a very intense resistance training session? So TENS is interesting. For those that don't know, TENS, T-E-N as in Nancy, S, stands for transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation. And oftentimes this is used in the PT clinic or at home. You can buy like a little box yourself and do it. Oftentimes it's used for muscle relaxation. And I know that it works for some people, it doesn't work for others. Some people use it daily to try to stimulate their muscles and get some muscle activation. Other people will use it to help relax their muscles after. So the question is, would it be useful after an intense resistance training session? Possibly. I would say maybe that in addition to stretching and in relaxing your muscles just with your own body instead of an external thing. As most of my answers are, try it out, see if it helps. If it does, I personally would not go out and buy it if I didn't have it already. If you already have it, sure, try it, see if it helps. But I think stretching is just as good. I do know that Dr. Terry Walls has research on using a TENS unit as well, so you could look into that. All right, let's see what the next question is. So many people joining. Thanks for joining, everyone. Okay, someone is talking about gabapentin, pregabalin, or gabapentin. I have more knowledge and experience with gabapentin. Quite a few of my patients have been on gabapentin, which is a medication for neuropathy. And same as my answer before, gabapentin, pregabalin, they work for some people and not for other people. So I would highly suggest you talk to your neurologist about different medications for neural issues, for sensory issues, numbness, tingling, burning, itching, pins and needles, anything like that. Talk to your doctor about that. See if there is a medication that they would suggest. There is also a physical therapy technique that you can do for sensory issues, which is desensitization. There's a whole video on that in the missing link as well, but that's something that you can do as well that's non-medicinal. All right, let's see. Kathy, I had SIBO and need to go gluten-free, but still have gut issues for no reason. Yeah, I have a friend, I know a couple of people who have SIBO, which if I'm remembering correctly, for those that don't know, I believe it stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It's, from what I hear, a super uncomfortable, painful stomach issue. I'm sure it's different for everyone. So let's see. You needed to go gluten-free, but you're still having gut issues for no reason. I don't have an answer for you. I'm sorry. I'm not a nutritionist or an expert in the nutrition field, but I do know everyone's body is different. So it is a game of trial and error. Try something. Maybe it's gluten-free and something else, or adding something into your diet. I'm not really sure. But everyone, there's never just one thing that works for every person. Even with SIBO, they might say, this is what you need to do, but you might need to do this and something else. How much is your group? So if you're referring to the missing link, which I think you are, and Lori says TENS helps me. So for whoever asked that question before. So I mentioned two things: the total core program to strengthen your core, reduce low back pain, improve mobility, improve posture. That's a one-time fee of $29.99. And then if you're talking about the missing link, which is the all-inclusive online MS program, that is a monthly fee of $107, or semi-annual for $527 or annual for $1,027. That's how much those are. Someone says TENS helps me. That's great. And I think that's it. That's all the questions that I see for right now. Thank you for joining. I am so excited. I love chatting with you guys, and I love being helpful, a helpful resource in answering your questions. So I will be doing this. I'm going to try to do it about once a month. So if you have any questions, be paying attention to my other posts and stories, and you can comment or just send me an email with what your questions are, and I can add it to the list for the next time that I go live. But for now, thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye. Oh, and if you wanted to check out the Total Core program or the missing link, my website is missinglink.com. M as in Mary, S as in multiple sclerosis, ING link.com. So you'll find all the information about the different resources there, as well as a blog and some other free content as well. So feel free to check that out. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.